Good afternoon, everyone. I once again welcome you to the second technical session of the 6 days AICTE ISTE sponsored induction program, which is held with the theme How to Plan Pharmaceutical Research. So I would like to introduce our speaker of the second technical session, that is Dr. Sameer Sapra. He is Senior R&D Manager, Hindustan Farm Direct Ingredients Private Limited, Una. He has isolated more than 50 markers from plants and has about 12 years of both industry and academia experience. He has supervised 9 UG, 12 MPharm and 3 PhD students and has published 20 plus articles in reputed journals. He has filed 3 patents and is reviewer of about 3 journals. I welcome you, sir.
तेरे को आ रही है, पर अगर किसी ने बोलना हो कुछ तो कैसे पता लगेगा? एक सेकंड।
माइक चेक करो अपना एक बार।
हाँ, माइक चेक करता हूँ। म्यूट अभी
स्पीकर ना म्यूट हो रखो, सिस्टम का स्पीकर ना म्यूट हो रखो।
एक सेकंड चेक। आवाज तो यहाँ से वॉल्यूम तो पूरा है।
Sir,
आ गया।
Yes.
Yeah.
Sir, I request you, sir, to please take over.
Yeah. Hello.
Yes, sir, we can hear you.
Okay. Shall I start?
Yes, sir. Good, sir.
Okay. So a very good afternoon to all. So the topic is phytochemicals development from research to commercial scale, industrial perspective. So let me brief myself about myself first, then I'll brief you about my company. So right now I'm working as senior R&D manager and head at Hindustan Farm Direct Ingredients. And so what we people are doing, we are majorly into isolation of phytochemicals, and into phytochemicals we are isolating flavonoids from waste material. So what we are doing, we are generating a commodity basically from a waste material, you can say that. So this is about, like, we are isolating one molecule hesperidin at bulk scale, and in India we are the first one who are isolating this molecule at this scale. And the pity is China is doing this isolation from last 40 years, and we people just started last year. So that's why there is a gap between industry and you can say that academics. And I was also into teaching 6 years back. So my thinking, and now if I can correlate my things with these things, so there is lot difference between them. So the first thing is, like I told you, phytochemical processing. As you know that after COVID, there are a lot of developments that has come up in nutraceutical sectors. After COVID, people started taking consuming immunity enhancers, and they started taking precautions. So this area is basically you can say that there is a boom in the area. So phytochemicals, it is not only confined to herbal products. Phytochemicals are it has used it can be used in number of you can say that sectors like pharmaceuticals, veterinary, nutraceuticals, cosmeceuticals, and perfumery. So as I told you, there are a number of sectors. The pharmaceuticals, like you can say that thiopolchicoside, it has origin from natural source. Yes, semi-synthetic synthesis. And likewise, there are a number of other pharmaceuticals product, digoxin, paclitaxel. And if I talk about nutraceuticals, a lot of bioflavonoids, they come under the category foods, and like that, veterinary, perfumery, and cosmeceuticals. So if I talk about global trends in herbal and nutraceutical products, so this field is coming up like I think you can say that if I talk about all these sectors, these all sectors combined are, I think maybe they are equivalent or more than pharmaceuticals like allopathic medicines. So the trend is on much higher side. As I mentioned, from USD 40 to 100 billion to an average growth is of around 15 to 20% yearly growth. So, and nutraceutical market is around USD 70 billion, and from them, phytomedicines are like 20 billion, which is huge and which is increasing with 15 to 20%. Although what people are doing, like it is easier to isolate phytochemicals at lab scale, and while working in colleges or maybe in laboratories, we can do number of things very easily, but when you have to scale up the things, then things are quite challenging. So apart from developing these phytochemicals, we have to work on number of aspects, like we have to identify highest concentration of phytochemicals. If we have to develop some phytochemicals, suppose if I give you one example, gallic acid, it is present in number of herbs like amla and Harad Bahera, Terminalia chibula, Valerica, Angelica officinalis, and other number of herbs. But it is always important to identify the phytochemical which is present in highest amount in a particular herb. Only then we can correlate with the commercial value and economics aspects. And yes, the biggest challenge with phytochemicals is raw material, and from raw material, the biggest challenge is adulteration of medicinal plants, which is a big challenge. And third is variation in concentration of phytochemicals. If you talk about phytochemicals at lab scale, people are publishing like phytochemicals when at this altitude the concentration is higher, at that altitude the concentration is lower, and in that particular season the concentration is highest. So we have to correlate these things when we have to shift from lab to industry.
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, your slide is not moving.
Slide is not?
नहीं move नहीं हो रही sir. मतलब first slide ही हमें दिख रही है.
Okay, I don't know. From my side, slide is moving. I don't know.
Sir, again share that.
Okay, okay,
Just not.
okay. Let me share. अभी है क्या नहीं? Still it is.
Okay, sir. Now it's.
Okay, so shall I start from next? Okay, no worries, no worries, no worries, no worries. Okay. So as I told you, like I'm going to discuss about something about phytochemicals, and into phytochemicals, you can say that phytochemicals are not only confined to herbal products. Is it moving? Abhi theek hai? Hello? Hello?
So it's second slide, you are on the second slide.
Yeah, second slide, now third slide, now fourth slide.
It's not moving. Okay.
Okay.
The full view is not there. It's moving.
Yeah, just. Is it fine now?
Now it's moving also.
Okay. So as I was discussing about phytochemicals, these phytochemicals are not only confined to your one section, that is into herbal, but now the phytochemicals reach is into number of sectors like pharmaceuticals, as I mentioned you, thiocolchicoside, digoxin, paclitaxel. These all are derived from herbal origin. And yes, into phytochemicals are also being used in perfumery, in cosmeceuticals, in cosmetics, in nutraceuticals like flavonoids, alkaloids, and into veterinary sections too. So the slide is, I had kept these slides of the presentation very simple because I'm not going to discuss about the theoretical aspects, but I'm going to discuss about like what are the challenges you can face when you have to shift from laboratory scale, development of a phytochemical from laboratory scale to commercial scale. It seems very simple, but it's not like that. So, as I mentioned, the global trend in herbal and nutraceutical products is the trend is around 15 to 20% growth every year. Especially after COVID, people started taking precautions like that. They started consuming immunity enhancers and other number of products, related products. So the field is rising like anything. So the nutraceutical field is USD 70 billion and phytomedicines is 20 billion, and the trend is on higher side. So, as I told you, being a as I'm working in a company, so from laboratory scale to commercial scale, we need to take care of number of parameters because we have to look at the commercial aspects and availability of materials too. So there are number of things which we have to take care of. So one is identification of high concentration of phytochemicals. As I mentioned earlier, suppose gallic acid, it is present in number of herbs, but we have to find out the major concentration present in particular herb. If I talk about a common plant, in fact, sometimes there are some varieties which are available throughout India or maybe throughout world, but the highest concentration is present in a particular region. So if I talk about like Centella asiatica, if I talk about asiaticosides, these are present. Asiaticosides are not present in higher concentration in India. These are present in your hilly regions and maybe and subtropical regions. So likewise, we need to identify the highest concentration of phytochemicals. And second is adulteration of medicinal plants is an important aspect. Third is variation in concentration of phytochemicals. Because of seasonal changes and because of altitude, there are always variations. So we need to keep a tab on the things where we can get highest concentration of phytochemicals if we have to commercialize a phytochemical. And the fourth one is major investment on raw material due to limited availability in a year. It involves huge capex. Suppose if we have idea about like the herb is available in particular maybe 3 months, maybe Jan, Feb, March. So we have to give a lot of capex to the particular herbs. We need to store that particular herbs, and it involves a lot of capex. So this, unlike your allopathic material, which you can procure anytime in the year. And last one is regulatory concern, which is the again most important. So, in case of like grass material, GRAS, generally regarded as safe. Suppose if material is there, so we cannot isolate that particular material with a number of solvents like chlorinated solvents or other number of solvents. So there are regulatory concerns in terms of solvents, in terms of their availability. So so these are the bigger challenges when we are going to commercializing something at bulk scale. So basically, how we can give value to the particular herb, like we can from non-standardized extract to we can standardize that extract. That extract means suppose if we have one extract which you do not have any idea about which phytochemical is present in which concentration. So what we can do, we can standardize that particular extract with reference to a particular marker compound. The simplest example is curcumin. Suppose if you have to standardize that curcumin extract, so you can make a parameter like the curcumin content should not be lesser than 90%. So this is all about standardization of extracts, and from standardized extracts you can further refine that extract to a particular phytochemicals. So from non-standardized to standardized phytochemicals, what you have to do, you have to standardize that particular extract with reference to the particular marker compound. So if I talk about phytochemical processing, it's not like you can use single equipment for number of experiments as you are doing in laboratory too. For extraction or for solid extracts, you can use maybe cleavanger, although cleavanger is not, you cannot work on cleavanger at commercial scale. In fact, Soxlet too. So we need to work on those equipments which you can commercialize, which you could be able to commercialize. So in case of essential oil extraction, you need some like different equipment, not cleavanger. You cannot design at commercial scale. So different equipment is required. So while working in the laboratory, you need to take care of all these things. How I can scale up the things. So in case of essential oil extraction, one is herbal leaching. This is a second. Herbal leaching means extraction maybe by with the help of water or maybe some other techniques. And the second is supercritical fluid extraction, which is now coming up nowadays, which is mainly used for the compounds which are thermolabile in nature. The yield is good. The extract of the phytochemicals, you'll get clean phytochemicals. So these are the techniques. And if I talk about phytochemical approach, while developing from lab to commercial scale, you have to think about solvent, which solvent you can use. In lab, you can use acetone, chloroform, methanol. But when you talk about regulatory and commercial aspects, you need to take care of all these things because like chlorinated solvents, the chloroform, when we are working in a lab, we are using chloroform, but at commercial scales or if regulatory concerns are there, you cannot use chlorinated solvents for particular phytochemicals. So while working, you should replace that chloroform maybe with ethyl acetate or maybe some other solvent which are commercially or which are which have acceptance as far as regulatory concerns are there. And optimization is again an important part, in which particular solvent you will get maximum concentration of that phytochemical, and that too, that particular solvent should be acceptable when you talk about regulatory concerns. So one example is like if you isolate something from chloroform and if you have to sell that nutraceutical or food product in European market, so they do not accept chlorinated solvents. So that is the bigger challenge. So this is the process cycle of phytochemical development. Suppose if you have to develop a phytochemical, then what you have to do, initially you will have to develop at R&D scale. From R&D scale, you need to optimize all the parameters like solvent ratio, how much concentration of maybe if you are using hydroalcoholic solvent, how much concentration you can add, filterability, and other number of small things which makes big impact at commercial scale. And from when you develop something at R&D scale, then you have to move to pilot plant, because from R&D to commercial production you will not get complete idea whether the material is having good processability from R&D to commercial or not. So you need to work on pilot plant too, from R&D to pilot plant, and then from pilot plant to commercial production, because a pilot plant will give you around 70 to 80% clear picture whether the process which you develop is commercially viable at commercial scale or not. So this is just a small pictorial representation which I think because a lot of all the faculty members are present, they must be doing all these things: dry herbs, solvent, sizing, extraction, and these all things. This is just a basic process. And second thing is, when we talk about switching from lab scale to commercial scale, the biggest aspect is whether you want to work on continuous process or non-continuous process. Continuous process is when you are manufacturing one phytochemical only at one line. Like day and night, you are manufacturing one line, one phytochemical day and night. A lot of people, a lot of companies are manufacturing single molecule at one line, and they do not switch, they do not mix other phytochemicals. So continuous means single herb or phytochemical, and it involves minimal manual intervention because the process is continuous, and there would not be any requirement of manual intervention. But if you talk about non-continuous, where you can use multiple, you can prepare multiple extracts like ashwagandha, tulsi, and all that. So in that case, manual intervention is more. So these are some examples of continuous extraction process. A number of companies are manufacturing day and night on single line these particular extracts: nicotine, calcium cyanocydes, Boswellia serrata, and we are manufacturing hesperidine on continuous line. So likewise, there are a number of products. So what are the major challenges, basic challenges like layout? When you are going to develop something for a particular phytochemical, the layout is most important part. Equipment selection, processing issues, chemicals selection, and break even. I'll discuss one by one all these parameters. Like layout, if I talk about layout, so layout, because when you are going to develop something, the crushing area is always important, because that is the biggest source of cross contamination. And especially when you are going to use something which is when you are going to isolate something by solvent, and there could be the possibilities there could be microbial contamination from raw material. So the area should be confined and it should be isolated to avoid any contamination. And second is production area. Production area should be obviously it should be separate. Drying and blending area, it should be a complete separate area, because from production area there could be possibilities of having contamination. And then finished goods area, after drying and final packing, you have to keep that finished you have to separate that finished goods area. And then solvent storage area, when you are going to isolate something at bulk scale, solvent storage is the most important part, because you have to keep that solvent storage area outside the outside means it should not be in the production area, it should be separate, and preferably underground solvent storage tanks. And last one is utilities. Utilities means like your chiller, boiler, and all that. 2 minutes. Utilities, boilers, and all that. So you need to take care of all this during setting up a commercial scale plant. All these areas should be separated and confined. So if I talk about equipment selection, yes, while working on in the lab, you are working on glasswares. But yes, if you have to work on pilot or commercial scale, you cannot use glassware. There are some glass lining reactors are also there, but in bulk scale, where you can say that solvents are you are using solvents, and a pH of around 5 to 12 if you are going to use, then you can use SS vessels too, and the rest it depends upon the number of chemicals if you are using. So this is most important, which type of SS vessel you have to use, because again in SS, in stainless steel, there are a number of grades available like 304, 316. So it depends what you have to. So while working at R&D scale, you need to take care of, you need to keep these things in mind, whether you can work on you can scale up the things at SS vessels, or something else, a special arrangement is required. These are, and now again in vessels, there are two types of vessels mainly. One is vertical, and second is rotary extractors. Now it depends upon products to products. Suppose if you few extractability at vertical extractors in few products are good, and in few products rotary extractors are good. So you have to optimize all these parameters too, at which on which extractor we can work, and you can calculate yield, and accordingly you can go through for these equipments. Now, as I told you, equipment selection, material of construction, like as I told you, SS vessels 304, 316, maybe MS, and these are all important factors. Input capacity. Input capacity is again an important aspect, because suppose how much herb and you have to add, and how much output you require in a day, you need to calculate, because all these are economical concerns, and all these things. Thickness of vessel is again an important. Suppose if you have to give some sort of you can say that pressure, like 2 kg, 3 kg pressure to the extractor. So in that case, thickness of vessel is more important to avoid any mishappening. And agitator design and RPM, it all this is again a crucial factor, because extraction depends upon agitator design and RPM too. It relates with the raw material, whether it is leaf, your leaf, maybe some roots, or so it depends. So agitator designs should be like according to raw material. And next one is equipment for drying of extracts. Equipment, like there are number of drying instruments, vacuum tray dryer, drum dryer. It is and rotary vacuum drum dryer. It is again an important aspect, because in case of solvents, if you have to remove solvents and in a particular time, it varies from product to product. So that equipment selection is again an important part. And again, last one is blender type, like conical vessel, or maybe your ribbon blender, which type of blender you can use. And again, when you are using some acids, like in lab scales, even in lab scales, addition of sulfuric acid is sometimes hazardous, and there are challenges. And think about when you have to add sulfuric acid at commercial scale, the kind of exothermicity and risk is too high. So we need to take care of, while developing product from lab to a commercial scale, we need to take care of these acids or other corrosive chemicals. How we can add, because what we people are doing, we are adding from tanks to to reactors acid. So addition of 100, maybe 100 kg or 200 kg sulfuric acid in one time is really hazardous, or very risky, you can say that. So we need to take care of all these parameters too. Maximum extraction optimization. Again, in lab scale, you can keep your agitator maybe at 200, 300 RPM, but it is not possible at commercial scale. So this extraction optimization is an important aspect. Exothermic reaction control at commercial scale. As I discussed with you, how we can control exothermicity, maybe by giving chillers, or maybe some other things by which we can control exothermicity. And next is filtration challenges. In lab scale, the material is 50 gram, 100 gram, you can filter it. But at commercial scale, it is really difficult to now filter when you are going to extract something from 1000 kg or maybe 500 kg. So it takes time. So these are the filtration challenges you need to take care when you are working at pilot plant. And then again is temperature control challenges, especially at lower temperature challenges. At lower temperature, because when you have to give 0 degree, 2 degree, it takes a lot of time to get that temperature first, and to maintain that temperature is again a challenging task at commercial scale. And solvent recovery issues. When you talk about herbal extraction, and especially during solvent recovery is the most important part as far as economics are concerned, because if your recovery rate is very low, then the economical aspects will be on the lower side, or you can say that negative side. So solvent recovery is an important part by using cooling towers or chillers. So we need to take care of all these factors. If I talk about chemical selections, as I told you, if during development at R&D scale or pilot scale, what you can do, if you can use compare with the other number of chemicals, like instead of sulfuric acid, if you can use HCl or maybe some mild acids. And again, with mild acids, there are challenges, like if you have to use acetic acid in lab, particularly in winters, acetic acid is like it is like a solid, and what you can do, you will do, you just keep that material in your water bath, and you can melt it. But at commercial scale, when tank is completely jammed, so we need to take care of all the things are very small, but at commercial scale, these are very challenging. And selection of solvent for extraction. Again, solvents, as I mentioned you earlier, you cannot use chlorinated solvents. Suppose if you develop something with the help of chloroform, maybe dichloromethyl, and now you are going to scale up the things. And if these are not acceptable at the commercial scale, then what you will do? So you need to take care of the particular solvent. And herb to solvent ratio is again an important part if you talk about extractability and your yield. So this is again, these all parts are really important while development at commercial scale. So in brief, this is all about my presentation, and we the things are the presentation was very simple. I had kept it very simple. It seems that nothing is there, but yes, these are the challenges which every company facing when they are commercial, when they are scaling up the things. So this is all about. Thank you.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Sir, my question is, which is the particular solvent we have used for the extractions of flavonoid?
Yes, we can use we can use methanol, we can use ethyl acetate. It depends upon the type of flavonoid. If it is a glycosidal, maybe you can use methanol. If it is non-glycosidal, then you can use ethyl acetate. So it depends which phytochemical is there.
Okay, sir. And my second question is, sir, flavonoids are classified into further 8 type on the basis of gamma pyrrole ring, sir.
Yeah.
How we differentiate, sir, by the in a laboratory scale as well as a commercial scale, sir?
No, firstly you have to identify which phytochemical which flavonoid you want to isolate. Maybe it is routine, maybe
Which
quercetin.
particular test, sir? Only
Particular?
the particular test for
No,
flavonoid. Only
no.
differentiation.
For a particular flavonoid, there is not a particular any particular test available. What you can do is you can take that standard and you can go for a TLC of that particular phytochemical or flavonoid. Otherwise, if you talk
Like that
about
in case of
broadly,
like that, I think, sir, like that in case of alkaloid, we have
yes.
used a different UV spectroscopy for the differentiations of the alkaloid. First one is TLC, then sir UV. I think I'm right, sir.
Yes, TLC and UV, but again, that is not for a particular phytochemical, for a particular flavonoid. Like as you mentioned, alkaloids. Alkaloids are a class of compound, secondary plant metabolite, and likewise,
Yes.
flavonoids are mixture of a number of flavonoids.
Yes, sir.
So for single flavonoid, there is no particular test available except TLC when you have to go for qualitative test, and HPTLC when you have to go for quantitative, or HPLC for
Thank you so
quantitative.
much, sir. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. There is one question from our faculty side that what is the criteria for marker isolation if it belongs to polyphenolic category?
Yeah, as I mentioned, polyphenols are again a broad category. It depends. There are few polyphenols which are very unstable. If I talk about punicalagins from Punica granatum, these are very unstable. But again, polyphenols, flavonoids are also polyphenols in nature, like routine quercetin. These are stable ones. So you can isolate those phytochemicals maybe by column chromatography, or you need to identify that particular the source in which it is present in highest concentration, and then you have to develop the technique. And basically, for, as I mentioned you, for non-glycosidal flavonoids, ethyl acetate you can use for isolation of non-glycosidal flavonoids, and maybe for you can say the glycosidal, you can go for maybe methanol and hydroalcoholic, and it depends to other things are also there, like you can use resin columns when you have to isolate a particular compound, a polyphenol which is highly polar in nature and which is neither soluble in methanol nor in ethyl acetate. So you can use resin columns and you can use reverse chromatography for isolation. So nowadays the trend is, what people are doing, they are not isolating particular phytochemical because of stability and other number of factors, economical aspects too. What they are doing, they are developing standardized extracts. Suppose if polyphenols are present in 10% concentration, what they are trying to do, they are standardizing those extracts with reference to polyphenol. They are using your resin columns, and they are standardized, and they are preparing extracts, standardized extracts using resin columns.
Sir, there is one more question that what are the procedures for the separation of isomer if the phytochemical exists in isomeric form?
Yeah, yes.
Sir, separate procedures
Yeah,
for the
isomer.
separation
Yes,
of
yeah.
yes, isomer.
It also depends upon the type of isomers, and whether that could be possible to isolate at with column chromatography or not. Otherwise, there are columns, HPLC columns, arbitrative HPLC columns are there. There you can isolate that isomers if they are not easily isolated. So not only isomers, there are number of constituents which are very close to each other, like in chemical structure. If I talk about arsolic acid and oleanolic acid, there is only difference of one bond in there. So it is really difficult to isolate through column chromatography. When you check when you check the TLC, you will get single spot, but on HPLC you will get two peaks. So for these things you need to have special columns, and there are few resins too, like LH20 is one of the resin by which you can also isolate polyphenols as well as these isomers, but it depends what type of isomer is.
Sir, next question is that what is the criteria for selection of C18 columns for phytochemicals? Which is better, 5 micron or 3 micron?
Again, these are all these broad parameters. Like it depends which phytochemical you have to identify. It depends upon phytochemicals. It is, you can use 5 micron, 3 micron based on your phytochemical. There are number of phytochemicals. So if it is, you cannot confine to, like we people are using for our flavonoids, so 5 micron. So it varies from phytochemical to phytochemical.
Thank If any participants wants to ask any of the question, you may ask.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Sir, one more question from my side, sir. आपने during presentation ये बोला कि sir in a commercial scale we have not used a Clevenger apparatus for the isolation or extractions of the essential oil. It's only possible in a laboratory scales. During the laboratory scale, sir, the degradations of the volatile oil by using the Clevenger apparatus. Then, sir, suggest any more method on a laboratory scale, not a commercial scale, sir.
No, I'm not getting you. Pardon.
जी सर,
नहीं समझ आया, आप दोबारा पूछिए।
मेरा क्वेश्चन ये था सर कि आपने बोला कि हम कॉमर्शियल स्केल पे क्लेवेंजर एपरेटस से फॉर द वोलेटाइल ऑयल के लिए नहीं यूज करते, बट सर लेबोरेटरी स्केल पे हम उसको यूज करते हैं, बट सर हम उसमें उसको एक्सट्रैक्ट आउट नहीं कर पाते बाय द क्लेवेंजर एपरेटस। तो कोई ऐसा मेथड सजेस्ट करो सर ऑन ए लेबोरेटरी स्केल फॉर द सेपरेशन ऑफ ए वोलेटाइल ऑयल।
Phytochemical development.
देखिए, the thing you are talking about is commercial at lab scale. The Clevenger is the best equipment you can use because वहाँ पर आपको जो temperature conditions रहेगा you can maintain. But at commercial scale, what we people are doing, हमारे we have one vessel, one condenser, and we are giving chiller to that particular condenser so that जो volatile content है वो उसका उड़े नहीं, जाए नहीं। So if you अगर मैं रिवर्स बोलता हूँ from commercial to lab scale, what you can do, you can give a line of solvent water which is cooled water. In that case, you can get more yield, or there could be the possibilities के degrade ना हो।
Okay, thank you sir, thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. It was wonderful talking to you, and it was, of course, an informative session.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. It was wonderful talking to you, and it was, of course, an informative session. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, ma'am.
Sir,
Thank you.
as a token of appreciation, we would also like to present a certificate to you.
Sure.
So it's on the screen. Please accept. So participants, for the valedictory session, we shall be meeting at 11:35. 1:30. Okay, 1:30. We shall be meeting at 1:30. So please be on time. You may stay. Only 10 minutes are there. Then we will be proceeding with the valedictory session.
Good afternoon, madam. Good afternoon, madam. I have joined. This is Professor Vaidya, Executive Secretary, ISTE.
Start, bro. Time for the valedictory session. Like all things come to an end, so is this induction program. The program was a tremendous learning experience for all of us. So for this session, I would like to welcome Colonel V. Venkat, Director, AICTE FDP, New Delhi, and Professor Vijay D. Vaidya, Executive Secretary, ISTE, New Delhi. I welcome both of you, sir. Now I would like to
Thank you, madam.
request Colonel V. Venkat, Director, AICTE FDP, New Delhi, to address the participants.
Thank you, ma'am. Thanks a lot. And what could have been a better opportunity than be coming and be speaking now at the valedictory? And I recollect coming in your online training programs introduction. That is the day one also. So that was something which is so very wonderful that I get a chance. And I always, one should learn when they come for a valedictory that it's basically an event or a get together or a meeting wherein all the probable outcomes which was decided to be obtained at the time of taking on the program, what is the necessary outcome? How much have we aligned? And quite obviously, the training program which went in your institute, it was one of the finest training program of 1 week wherein you got connected with multiple more faculty members. And then during this program, you had also gone about to make people that much more wise on the subject specific, on the topic which was so chosen. And when you make people connect and when you make people align to the requirements of the society, requirements of the education, how it's going to impact the environment, impact each and everybody's life, I think you people have achieved what you set out to achieve. And nobody could have been more proud than each one of you, each and every faculty member, the coordinators, the staff, the people behind us. Everybody deserves compliments. Everybody deserves a patting. That is what exactly in army we call it shabashi, you know. That is a way of generally speaking, complimenting a job well done. And a job well done can only be measured when your participants who got connected, who themselves happen to be your colleagues, if they can now go back and put whatever they have learned into practice, if they go back and put it into practice in their teaching, learning, in their classroom, let me assure you, I don't think so anybody could have been more satisfied than AICTE, than ISTE, and yourself. Vaidya sir, a pleasure interacting with you. Absolutely pleasure interacting with you. And Let me assure you, sir, I'm not so dark complexioned. It is little bit of fair skin I also have, but the thing is, when I am looking at each one of you, I get to see that radiance of energy which is coming out and leading from the front. Vaidya sir, it is you.
Thank
You
sir.
have been the single protagonist, the single person involved into multiple activities. So that is what your acumen and caliber is all about. I would request ISTE to continue this particular activity in times to come. I would request ISTE to take these to much higher heights as far as
Definitely.
education is concerned. And Vaidya sir, be rest assured, AICTE will always be there along with ISTE to take the education system along with institutes of caliber like the one in which we are connected today to much, much greater heights and laurels. Kumar Gaur sir, I recollect you as the coordinator of the activities. Am I correct in this, sir?
Yes, sir, you are correct.
Correct.
In each and every aspect.
Absolutely. And you deserve a special compliments to you. You deserve a special kind of appreciation, to say the least, because it has been a fabulous learning, not only for you, not only for participants, for even us at AICTE. We are also kind of highly encouraged to get into institutes. We also would want institutes to come forward, get an exposure. We also want to connect you, and you do remain connected with us at AICTE. Don't think so that this is going to be the last of the programs where we are getting connected. There will be many more opportunities coming your way. Professor Prerna ma'am, and quite obviously, ma'am has been always in connection. She has always been unconnected, asking about multiple activities, and her exuberance towards taking the initiatives of education to many more, connecting people is also highly appreciable. Well done, ma'am. Well done to everybody, each one of you, including your management staff, the principals behind this complete program to giving you guidance and motivation. And last but not the least, I'm so sorry, I don't know your name. You get introduced as GGSCOP. So I don't get to see your name.
Sir, I'm Dr. Priyanka.
Dr. Priyanka, ma'am, thank you. I do recollect you being there in the introductory phase also, and I do see you as a valedictory phase. Let me assure you, whatever I have said, each one of it was only possible because you initiated the proceedings on day one, and you are the one who is going to be there till the day last. So your contribution also is something which is highly appreciable. Some of us have to do this job. One of us have to learn how to be even coming forward on a stage and be speaking. Your presence, let me also tell you one more thing. I'll take 30 more seconds before I'll give an opportunity for everybody else. Academics is extremely important for a teacher to be fully versed within his subject. That is undeniably the most important. Alongside it, very important aspect now, more so when all of a sudden we have shifted to online, and online education is going to be the future. It is going to stay. National Education Policy does speak about this. The manner, the conduct, the behavior, the presence in which you come in on screen is also something which is now to be learned by a lot of people. And Priyanka ma'am, I think you exemplify each and every quality that a teacher is supposed to be having in front of a stage.
Thank you very much.
Well done, ma'am. Well done to everybody. Well done. It was a pleasure meeting you. It was great getting to know you people. Wishing you the best in the times to come and looking forward to many larger interactions. Thank you. Best wishes and Jai Hind.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much, sir, for kind words. Now I would like to invite Professor Vijay Vaidya sir to please say a few words. Please, sir.
Good afternoon, everyone. It's my pleasure to be with you for this valedictory program. Colonel B. Venkat sir, source of inspiration and motivation to everyone, even for ISTE also, because whenever we interact with them, we are impressed by his energy, though he is from military, but the energy which he is having. The important thing is that if you meet him in the early in the morning at 10:30 or something like that, or if you meet him, if you meet him at 7:30 in the evening in his office, you will find him with same energy, same zeal he is working. So really, such a dynamic personality is there. And another thing is that he is having high regards for teaching community. Just in his speech also, he has enlightened it Means with his such initiative, he is coming out with various initiatives, and this is one of it. Means this is the success of that this program. Everyone knows, even success of your program is known to every participant and you people also. But the man behind that from AICT is Colonel Venkat sir, because he is the person who is strongly monitoring the activities, and with whatever he is observing, he is giving the real feedback to his higher officials. So really, it's a great thing. Another thing, Dr. Kumar Gaurav, principal of this institute, Dr. Ashwini Dhingra, Dr. Priyanka Kriplani, Ms. Prerna Sharma, Dr. Bhavna Chopra, and members of organizing committee. It's really my pleasure to be with you, because first of all, I would like to congratulate you for successful completion of this program, because this is an online program, and as already Colonel Venkat sir has already mentioned, that it is a blended mode of learning which is encouraged in national education policy, and this here you are using this. I would like to appreciate all the teachers who are present here for their constant efforts for last 2 years, because for last 2 years we are not in position to conduct the physical classes, but at the same time every one of you have taken tremendous effort and used this online media to cover up complete your curriculum and to ensure that the students of your institute are not at a loss of any type. Means whatever things are to be completed within year, you had this way or that way, you have tried your best to complete it and to give the proper knowledge to the students. So really, you all deserve appreciation for that. And when we are well versed with that, another important thing which already Colonel Venkat sir has already pointed out, that when you are using online platform, there is certain protocols and a certain uh, IoT tools that are to be used to make your presentation interesting. And I think whoever resource persons have attended this, joined this program, definitely they must have given you the information about the emerging area, latest development, latest trend, and at the same time, you must have realized the way in which they were presenting the things, because it is observed that those eminent personalities who are having constant habit of presenting themselves in different conferences or at different platforms, they are very punctual or very proper about their presentation. So they do in the best possible manner, and they are ensuring that whatever they want to deliver is delivered properly. So I think you must have learned a lot from them. Now this is the AICTE ISTE program, and the basic objective of this type of program is to give knowledge in emerging areas to our faculty members. That is, you know that the technology is changing at such a rapid rate that nobody can predict what is going to happen tomorrow. Even if you consider, we know that new trends, that is, we say that AI/ML is there, IoT is there, cyber security is there, 3D printing is there, and so on. So we know the technologies, but how they are going to happen, impact our day-to-day life or our society is not clear. And under such circumstances, you will find that new types of jobs are going to come in nearby future. One important thing, that the impact of technology, just we all have recently visualized, or recently we have observed that when this COVID pandemic started, all of us know that that time there was a medicine was not available, vaccination was not available, and whole world was worrying about what to do. And since you are a family, you are from a pharmacy background, you know the time required to prepare a vaccination. I was told that minimum 4 to 6 years are required to prepare any vaccination and use it in a professional manner or in a common, use it to the common public. But you'll see that within a short span of 8 to 9 months, you people have designed, you have derived this vaccination, and in such a manner that the vaccination of whole world is in process. And even ours is a huge country, but we did a lot in vaccination, and that is possible only with the efforts of you people, pharmacy people. And another thing is that it was possible with the help of AI/ML technology. We see how the technology is going to penetrate in our life, and under such circumstances, it is our duty to be with, to well versed with the new trends and technology. Because one thing is that if you don't move with the technology, technology is going to progress at its rate. But only thing is that we have to move with the technology. Just imagine if you don't move with the technology, one fine day you will realize that you are having obsolete knowledge. You are not moving with the technology. And when you become obsolete, just imagine what will be your value in your institute, what will be your value in the society. So in order to survive, it's highly essential that we must move with the technology. And really, this is a good opportunity for you to interact with such eminent personalities. And I feel that whatever you have learned, that you can use it for your research purpose also, means the area which is having future scope that you can select for research. And one thing is that when technology is developing at a rapid rate, there is a good scope for research. Means if you start thinking in that direction, you can do a lot. And another thing is that even national education policy speaks about the research. It gives emphasis or give importance to the research, and it clearly indicates that research should be encouraged at every stage. The research should be encouraged at every stage. So now I feel that there is a good scope for you to do research, and at the same time, it is essential that whatever research you've done, you are doing, it should be converted for the betterment of society. And luckily, the government of India is having lot more initiatives for the betterment of this entrepreneurship development. And at the same time, you will find that there are many people who are ready with the money in their hand. Just they are searching for a good initiatives, good startups, or good ideas. So if you have that capacity, definitely money is not the criteria. You can do a lot. And I feel that even you may, we may say that now we are in such a stream and all, it is very difficult for us to do. But same time, you can think of your students. They are innovative, and just encourage them, and definitely they will do this. So when you consider all this, the basic foremost important thing what you must remember is that you have to enhance your knowledge, and you have to move with the technology, move with the time. And when you think of this, please be assured that AICTE, ISTE, and other government agencies are with you to develop yourself. Because since national education policy gives emphasis for training, definitely new schemes are going to come at a different level, at a state level, at a national level, AICTE level, ISTE level, for the betterment of faculty, and you will get opportunity to learn new things. Only thing is that you have to identify your area, and you have to develop yourself in that particular area, and that you can do. Another thing is that when you think of developing your student, if the question may arise that say we are concentrating on our curriculum, and we ensure that whatever is there in curriculum we are teaching them in the best possible manner, but all of us knows that this is not enough. You have, if you want to develop your students, you have to give them knowledge in emerging areas. And for this, IST student chapter is the best platform which you can use for the betterment of students. Under IST student chapter, it is expected that all the activities which will be conducted through that chapter are to be conducted by students only. Staff advisor will give proper guidance, or they will guide them, but everything is to be done by faculty sorry, students only. And when you give students such opportunity, you will find that they do the program in such a nice way, in such an excellent manner, and at the same time they realize the hidden potential in them, and with that potential they can do a lot. So with this, I really feel that whatever the things which you have taken, even I have gone through your schedule also, it shows that you have taken tremendous efforts to organize this program. You have selected really good eminent personalities having expertise in the particular area, and I think definitely the participants must have benefited by this, and whatever they have learned, definitely they will use it in their future life. So with this, I'm once again appeal you that, see, if you want to do anything, if you want to for the betterment of society and all, we have to move together. And I appeal particularly all of you to be with us for future endures of IST, because together we can move, together we can do something for the development of nation. So with this, once again, congratulations for successful completion of the program, and really participants, also appreciate you for attending this program and enjoying this program. And I wish a total success in your future life. And one last appeal is that if you want IST to do something, if you expect something from IST, please be free to call us, or you can give mail to me, or you can give call to me, and we'll be there to solve your difficulties. At the same time, your suggestions or good things will be always appreciated at IST. So once again, Thank you everyone for giving me an opportunity to interact with you, and I wish all the best for your future. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir, for giving us a brief about the need of the society and your words of appreciation and encouragement. Thank you very much, sir. Now, I would like to request Dr. Ashwini Dhingra to please read the report of the FDP. Please, sir.
Very good afternoon to all of you. I, Dr. Ashwini Dhingra, on behalf of Guru Gobind Singh College of Pharmacy, feel highly privileged to extend a vote of thanks to all the panelists and the participants in this 6-day AICTE ISTE sponsored induction refresher program held with the theme How to Plan Experimental Methodology in Pharmaceutical Research. On behalf of GGScope, I would like to oblige our chief guest, Professor N.K. Jain, Professor K.R. Mahadik as a guest of honor, Colonel B. Venkat, and Professor Vijay D. Vaidya. Apart from this, our resource person are Professor B.S. Bhoop, Professor Gajendra Singh, Professor Rohit Dutt, Dr. V. Calcium, Dr. Monica Gulati, Professor Vijay Balla, Professor Kumud Upadhyay, Dr. Kunal Nepali, Professor G.D. Gupta, and Dr. Samir Sapra, for sharing time from his busy schedule and sharing their valuable knowledge with us and making this program fruitful and successful. I also want to extend my heartfelt gratitude to our management for their continuous support. I wish to express my profuse thanks to Dr. Kumar Gaurav, Principal, Guru Gobind Singh College of Pharmacy, for his guidance and providing such a stimulating environment for educational development program. My special and hearty thanks to all the members of organizing committee, Dr. Priyanka Griplani, Dr. Bhavna Chopra, Dr. Geeta Deswal, Dr. Anjali Sharma, Dr. Ajmer Singh Grewal, Mr. Rohit Kamboj, for their support and teamwork. Last but not the least, I congratulate all the participants for their support and being patient throughout the session. On behalf of Guru Gobind Singh College of Pharmacy, we promise to organize such session with more creative and innovative idea. Thank you.
A very good afternoon to all of you. I, Prerna Sharma, coordinator for the program, feel highly privileged to extend a vote of thanks and welcome and thanks to all the panelists and participants in 6-day ISTE sponsored induction program held with the theme How to Plan Experimental Methodology in Pharmaceutical Research. On behalf of Guru Gobind Singh College of Pharmacy, would like to oblige our chief guest and guest of honor of the day, Colonel B. Venkat, Director, FDP, AICTE, and Professor Vijay Dhaya sir and ISTE New Delhi, and Dr. Pratap Singh Desai, President ISTE New Delhi, and all the participants and our resource person for remain patient over all the program. Thanks to all. All the participants, keep on camera on for photographs.
I would also like to request our principal sir to say a few words. Sir, please.
I've already so many thanks has given to all the participants and to our sponsor. Again, want to thanks AICTE and ISTE for giving us opportunity to organize such a wonderful MTP program these days. And this program really stimulating one for the all researchers because it provide help to them doing their research and provide the much needed help that small nuances required to do the research. Thank you very much again, ISTE and AICTE for giving us a chance to organize this wonderful program. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, sir.
So
All the participants, please switch on your cameras.
Madam, my camera is blocked from your end. Just allow me to join. Madam, you have to allow me to operate my camera.
Thanks. Then is Dr. Bhavna Chopra. Miss Prerna, coordinator of the program. Dr. Geeta. Mr. Rohit. Miss Dr. Anjali. Dr. Ajmer. Thank you very much, all of you. Thank you, most of all, thank you for all the participants who have joined the program and made this program successful. So thank you very much, all of you. Feedback link will be shared to you soon. Thank you very much.
So thank you, Gaurav sir. Thank you. Thank you, Madam Prerna madam. Thank you, everybody. Hope you will be with us for future activities.
Thank you.
Sir.
Thank you, Bharat. Thank you, all the participants, for giving us time. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
हाँ जी मैडम बोलो।